Madam Speaker, in the 3.2 million that was given to the constituencies for fuel. And I must also mention that we really appreciate what government is doing in developing our rural constituencies. However, Madam Speaker, Muchinga is a constituency that is very different from most constituencies, though we are getting the same amount of money. The roads in question, Madam Speaker, if you talk of the Kashitu via Nambo to Kundarmasha Road, as I'm speaking, it's cut off. It passes along the mountain, and all the water from the mountain just passes over this road. Besides, it has got 3 bridges and 2 culverts that we cannot manage to do with the CDF. We have the Muzamani to Luswas Power Station Road. As I'm speaking, it is also cut up 48 kilometers. If we rely on CDF, we can't do. We have got the Kavansa Road, 54 kilometers, where our people are also cut off. And that's the reason why we are coming to government to say, can you supplement us? Mr. Speaker, I have heard a minister saying that they have plans, but the time at which the plans will be executed is what is worrying the people of Muchinga. It's not too late. We are still living. We are not dying today. It might come tomorrow, the other day. Will you say it's too late? So, Madam Speaker, my question to the Honorable Minister is, what plans can government help us with to do the Kashitu Nambo to Kundarmansha Road, which is currently cut off, as well as the Muzamani to Power Station Road, which are very critical, leaving out the other one, which I know we can do with CDF. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. You will be given another location. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, I think it's not a secret that members know that I've come here time and time again to come and submit the crucial crossing points in the jurisdictions, especially in the rural areas. Madam, in Magoe, I come from Magoe myself. That's where my village, my ancestors are buried. My own Nkombo village, where I am the headman, is also cut off. I wanted to just put that so that we don't come through with too much emotion about this. And Zambia is not about to expire today. We inherited, Honorable Banda, an economy where we were coming from the cold. That's what we did. And the efforts that we are trying to put now also involves you to invoke some action of communication. Let's promote the communication protocol for you to come to the office whenever you have a moment with the BOQs of the crossing points. And I want you to know that away from the CDF, my ministry also is a domicility for rural roads connectivity. And we do have money. Ask the MP for Lusangazi. He's seated there. He was one of the very first who came to say, my road is cut. And we have put a state-of-the-art bridge in Lusangazi. Honorable Mutachalo, you and I have been having conversation about crossing points, and we respond positively when you come on time and we accommodate you. So yes, CDF is not enough, but we have another vote that deals with crossing points. That happen when we have excessive rainfall. Just this particular last month, we have had flash floods where even the road to Eastern Province, I'm sure you remember, at Rufonsa was cut off. There are measures that government is putting in place. When that road cut off, Honorable Muliata, the Minister of the province, was on hand for 3 days to repair that bridge. So yes, we have emergency funds that can help our people of Lusiwasi who are currently cut off. What it involves is for you to come to the office. Don't just come here to this gallery and say, no, this, and then you forget. We're in office. Come to the Boma and we'll try and help you.
Thank you. The last member, the Honorable Member from Muchinga.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I hear the Minister speaking very well. Actually, the roads are not cut off as a result of bridges being washed away or culverts, but, you know, we are in a valley. So when it's raining, the road is being washed away, not as in need of a culvert or rather a bridge. But I mentioned bridge because in this road, that's what is there. So I just wanted to let you know that the magnitude of the work is as big as such. However, Madam Speaker, on the Luswas-Muzamani Road, we have got a Luswas power station, Madam Speaker. Why can't your ministry, Honorable Minister, engage ZESCO so that you help in doing that road? Because currently it's only a ZESCO truck that can move. All small vehicles cannot move. Just the last week of my holiday, there was a funeral, and my vehicle that was carrying the body took 2 days stuck on the same road until the family had to move 27 kilometers to come and lift the body on their shoulders. So that's the worry that we have, Madam Speaker. So please, can you engage ZESCO and see how best they can come on board so that you can work on the most dangerous areas, while you are also considering us in the short term on the Kashitu number 2 Kundarumasha Road. Because if we are to wait until when government has got money, we are going to have a lot of challenges. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member of Parliament, for Muchinga. I think he's doing a wonderful job in demonstrating how well he knows his constituency. I sympathize greatly with those families of the people who carried somebody 27 kilometers to go and put them to their resting place. But I want you to know, sir, that no matter how bad your situation is, there will be someone who's having it worse than you. These are conversations that, as I said in my immediate past response, requires you to come to the office, to sit down so that we write. And you yourself, Honorable Banda, are excellent in terms of engaging my office. You are one of the MPs who make my work worthwhile because you engage and you engage effectively. I encourage you that while you can ask questions here, because this platform is created for that, let us also engage much more intimately so that we can tick off the things that are bothering you in your constituency. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My apologies to the Honorable Member for Kankoyo. We are behind time. We have to make progress. The next question, the Honorable Member for Mbabala.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Question number 173.
The Acting Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Mr. Muchinga, Member of Parliament from Bawala, is asking the Minister of Health and Government to operationalize the following: 1, the Public Health Emergency Fund, and B, the Public Health Emergency Operations Center. Our response, Madam Speaker, is that A, the Public Health Emergency Fund established under the ZNPHI, which is the Zambia National Public Health Institute Act number 19 of 2020, is not yet operational. The process of operationalizing the fund is underway, including the development of regulations which will be issued through an SI, a statutory instrument, by the Minister of Health. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with various stakeholders, has drafted these regulations and is currently engaged in further consultations to ensure that they are finalized through a transparent and inclusive process. It is anticipated that the fund will become fully operational by the first quarter of 2025. This is once the regulations are finalized. To question B, Madam Speaker, the National Public Health Emergency Operations Center, known as PHEOC, established under the ZNPHI Act, is currently technically operational. This is because most of the standard operating procedures, the plans and guidelines are already in place. Basic infrastructure and equipment has also been installed, and adequate human resources have also been assigned to work in the PHEOC. However, it still needs further strengthening, and the Ministry of Health is currently working with various partners to ensure that all the necessary requirements are met, including finalization of the regulations, which will be issued by the Minister of Health through a statutory instrument. But as it stands now, draft regulations were done, and these were already done, and these were done through a consultative process. And I want to confirm that these should be finalized in the first quarter of 2025. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Supplementary questions. The Honourable Member from Mbabala.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Minister, for that very good response. Is there a set amount or percent of money which is going to be used to operationalize this very important public health institution, given the various epidemics and pandemics that we face in our region and in our country? Thank you.
The Acting Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honourable. Indeed, there is a fund which has already been allocated through the Line Ministry and, of course, through ZNPHI. But as you are aware, these are institutions that are also being funded by donors, and donors have been very supportive of establishing these centres. And you are aware that part of the work includes building an entire office structure somewhere around Chalimbana area there, where land was already secured and resources already allocated, except, as I indicated, certain regulations have to be put in place. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Kantinsa.
Acting Minister of Health, you are fully aware that public health is one of the responsibilities of local authorities. If you go to Kitwe, we have a Department of Public Health. If you go to Kasama, there's a Department of Public Health under the local authority. This particular public health emergency fund, in terms of funding, who is going to provide the funding into the emergency fund? Is it a tax that will be introduced? Is it a levy that will be introduced? Or is it Parliament that is going to allocate every year money into the fund? I think it will be important that we understand where the money will come for this public health emergency fund, considering that there are so many departments of government that will be required to perform this particular duty. Madam Speaker, that is my follow-up question. Thank you.
The Acting Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable, for your follow-up question. Madam Speaker, the current position of government regarding the work of local authorities is to the effect that all local authorities in Zambia today are working with the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Health has already done the first steps, which includes moving staff from Ministry of Health and moving them to local authorities. I don't know what is happening in Kitwe, but I'm aware, at least for Chongwe, that the Director of Health for Chongwe District is now part of the Chongwe District Council Management Team. So the functions that were performed by that office have continued, except the difference now is that he is reporting directly to the local authorities, meaning to the town clerk. So he's part of the head of department of the district council. So it means that issues of public health are being performed at the district level. That is what is pertaining. Whilst the resources may still be coming from the line ministry, with time that will change. Monies will be going to the District Council for Health and of course other sectors of government. I think that members of parliament should do well to acquaint themselves with the decentralization policy so that we all begin to understand and also support the councils. That's why it will be very important now that this House, by God's grace, moves to make an amendment to the Constitution to allow members of Parliament to begin to sit in the Council. Because the Council will become the focal point for development. And we need to ensure that members of Parliament who are elected become part of the Council to understand and to appreciate. Unless you don't know what you want, I'll be shocked myself if as a member of Parliament. Sorry, Madam Speaker, can I be protected? I don't know what the question is about.
All the honorable members, let's give room to the honorable minister to respond adequately.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So what I was saying is that various sectors of government, at the end of the story of decentralization, we shall have a government called local government, district council at the local level. So community development, policing, internal roads, all those roads, small bridges, primary education, all those will be in the hands of the council. And I'm aware that Ministry of Health has already moved because, it is not possible that the Minister of Health can go to Kasama in the remotest part of Kasama district at the smallest clinic and make sure that that clinic is functioning. So it must be the MP, the councillors, the mayor, and the management, the district commissioner. And that's why you heard the Minister of Local Government advising that we need to begin to understand how government is going to function. So in terms of the monies will come from mainstream government in terms of funding and also from donors. So just wait for the regulations which will be issued by the Minister of Health to know the extent of everything in terms of operationalizing the fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I take the last member, that is the member for Mansa Central, the honorable member for Chiruvi, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing the people of Chiruvi to raise a point of order. I raise a point of order for the minister. Is the minister in order to mislead these August House and Zambians to insinuate that what she is saying is going to be new when it's already in Article 148 to 152 in the Constitution of Zambia? Is she in order to say that councils and other things will be created just about now from the policy arrangement that she's talking about? Is she in order, Madam Speaker?
The honorable member for Chiruvi, you didn't even cite the breach that was committed. And also the honorable member for Chiruvi, you should have just indicated to ask a question instead of maybe raising on a point of order over something that is very small, and the minister would have attended to that small query that you have. Let's avoid just raising points of order for the sake of raising points of order. Let's have meaningful points of order. So next time, honorable member, try even to cite the breach that has been committed. The honorable member for Mansa Central.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. The Zambia National Public Health Institute was established through an act of parliament to lead public health security. That means to protect Zambians against public health threats. The act also provided for the establishment of the Public Health Emergency Fund. So that resources are put there under the ZNPHI so that there is immediate availability of resources to respond to epidemics. so that there is money for surveillance, epidemic preparedness, epidemic response. So, Madam Speaker, mine was to provide clarification that when we're talking about the Public Health Emergency Fund, we're talking about public health security under ZNPHI, and it is not something to do with local councils. I submit.
The Acting Minister of Health.
Noted, Madam Speaker. I think that's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, the Honorable Member for Kasama Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll begin by welcoming the 3 new members of Parliament, Petauke Central, Pambashe, and Kawambwa. You are most welcome to this August House. Madam Speaker, on the people of Kasama Central constituency, I wish to ask question number 174. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member of Kasama Central Parliamentary Constituency is asking the Minister of Energy 3 questions. In A, whether the government has any plans to increase the generation capacity at Chishimba Falls Hydroelectric Power Station in Kasama District. If it's so, in B, when the plans will be implemented. And in C, if there are no plans, why? Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. In A, yes, the government has plans to rehabilitate and increase the generation capacity at Chishimba Falls hydropower stations from the current installed capacity of 6 megawatts to 15 megawatts. In B, the project is being implemented with the grant financing from the German government under KfW Development Bank at a total cost of 41.5 million euros. The preparation of tender documents is in progress and are expected to be floated to the market once a no objection given from KfW Development Bank. The rehabilitated and upgraded plant is expected to be commissioned by the end of 2027. Based on the response in A, C falls off. I thank you.
Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Kasama Central, you don't have a question?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for your response. Honorable Minister, the last time a similar question was asked, the Minister of Finance informed the House that by then the tender process was already in place, but then it's taken me aback to learn that the tender process has not even commenced, as a go-ahead has not been given. Would you inform if there are any anticipated challenges or risks, because it seems that these funds have been availed since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. This is currently 2025. And what is really causing the delay? I submit. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, this project has delayed. And Madam Speaker, like I've stated, that this is a grant which is being financed by the German government under KfW. And as the ministry, we have done the part we're supposed to do. Themselves, the Germans or the financiers, are the ones who procured the consultant, and the consultant did his part. And also, tender documents were submitted to the bank. And the process, we agree with you, it has delayed, but we are engaging the German to make sure that this process is expedited, because this is entirely financed by the German Development Bank.
The Honorable Member for Kankoyo.
I thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, between 2011 and 2021, among the assets which PF used to borrow was ZESCO, and ZESCO still has a debt of $3.5 billion, hence making it impossible for ZESCO to mobilize its own funds to invest in such a project. Honorable Minister, when do we see ZESCO clearing its book so that it can be able to raise its own funds and invest in critical projects like this one? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, if he can repeat his question.
The Honorable Member for Kankoyo.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, what I'm saying is such a project is a very important project, looking at the challenges having in Zambia of electricity. ZESCO could have easily funded such a project had it not been the debt which was borrowed by PF, making the company unable to borrow or raise funds to invest in such a project. Hence, we are depending on donors to fund the project which is critical to the economy. So my question is, when is ZESCO going to clear the 3.5 billion debt, which is making it difficult for them to raise funds? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member. Indeed, this project, the Honorable Member of Kasama Central is saying, is being financed by our cooperating partners. And hence, the Honorable Member is saying that if ZESCO was in a good position financially, it would have taken an initiative to fund such kind of projects which are very important for our nation. Indeed, with the situation ZESCO is, it cannot be able to fund this project. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a follow-up question. I think the new Dawn government has been promoting private-public partnership. And since this country has the serious shortage of electricity, are you exploring other avenues where you can encourage even the local investors? I mean, if NAPSA or workers' compensation, they are able to do a road, why can't we encourage our local investors to invest in power generation so that we are able to meet the current and future electricity demands? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Though that question is a bit different from what the Honorable Member is pushing, because this is an existing project which was started somewhere in 2016 and it has delayed. In terms of creating an environment for private partnership, these are the reforms the new Dawn administration has put in place. It is open for investors or private sector to participate in power generation. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kasama Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, owing to the fact that there is delays, I wanted to find out when you had the last formal engagement with the cooperating partners and what were the resolutions from that meeting. I submit. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I know the passion of the Honorable Member, and indeed, that is why we are putting these offices to make sure that we address the services that are in need for our people. Madam Speaker, indeed, the ministry, together with ZESCO, we are engaging our cooperating partners. And the last time we had an engagement was last year, and there's progress as we are talking. And actually next month, I'm also traveling to Germany to go and push for this project. I thank you.
The last member, the Honorable Member for Karfinsa.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, to expand a power generation plant from 6 megawatts to 15 requires a feasibility study. It requires that you are certain that this project can actually happen. All these stages have already been done. Madam Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister, given these delays we've had when the project is already funded, don't we risk losing this funding, which is a grant? Because the German bank is giving us money for free. Now these delays, where is the problem, Honorable Minister, that you have a bank that has given you money, but you can't implement a project? The MP for Kasama wants to communicate feedback to the constituency. What really is the problem? The money is there, the designs are there, the feasibility has been done. Why can't the project take off? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, Madam Speaker, this project is entirely being run by our cooperating partners, and they are aware of all these delays. Hence, they went ahead to procure the consultant. So they understand the delays that have affected the project. So we are in tandem with them, and they are aware of what is being done currently. It's a baby of our cooperating partner. So they will have no effect in terms of maybe withdrawing the money or whatever. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Chadiza.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, every project, especially donor-funded projects, they have a window period. Now, to hear from you that this project has delayed from 2016, Honorable Minister, I'm sure people of Kasama are very much interested to know whether the window period has expired or not. I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, our cooperating partners have even extended to 2030. I thank you.
Next question, the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 175.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Speaker, Mr. Miotu, Kalabo Central, asked the Minister of Education, A, whether the government has any plans to employ career guidance teachers in public schools countrywide, and B, if so, what qualifications the career guidance teachers are required to possess, and C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House as follows. A, the government has plans to employ career guidance and counseling teachers in public schools as outlined in the approved organizational structure of the Ministry of Education. Feira, for career guidance
when you say you are training these career guidance teachers, are you taking into consideration the needs of this country? Because, Our worry is that we are training children, we are training teachers who are irrelevant. So the question by is
The Honorable Minister of Education.
What a good. Yes.
The Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Background is my observation that many schools, many public schools, especially for those in Kalabo, did not have the career masters who could help the students to develop their capabilities to build for the future. Now, that the minister is saying that the government is reporting, so far, how many have been recruited specifically for this guidance and counsel or career?
Education.
As I tell you, we have specifically, but people are training in that. And currently we are utilizing those teachers, but they are not on as graduates. And also do part-time. Be approved. You find do all these things. We should have been doing this. We are starting. Each child who will be functional in what they do. So there's a difference here when we say guidance and counseling. It's about what child we want to make.
The Honorable Member for Mandevu.
And are failing to, for example, and if this is not remedied, our children may not sit for exams. Apart from this, we have also the network issues countrywide. To pay online, you need network. Airtel, I thank you and seriously in indulgence. Thank you.
Totally new
25, the policy directive, all public has been allocated 3 sites. These are Chovelam, Mufu, Wushin. B. Stated in Part A of the question, the respectively.
Madam Speaker, Mukungule, Katibu areas will be done. It becomes very difficult for us to communicate properly with government.
In the budget for 2025, there is no fiscal space for us to undertake those upgrades. I thank you.
Madam, to find you the approach that is used already started being approached.
Great. There are pleased to in 25 be able to get
Technology and Science.
speak and take the question. The public was it would 2G that take a bit of time of ability.
Kashaita Pundu. We also in your office, Honorable Minister.
Concluded. They came after they concluded nine
which all your ministry analysis on where
were given in the survey. So we have technically finished the survey. Is to find that are taking into account a number of
Member for Feira.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the people of Feira would like to ask question 177.
The Acting Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member of Parliament for Feira, when the construction of the following facilities at Ruangwa district will be completed. 1, 6 staff houses at 9. Completed the project. Time frame for the in this case, the contractor during the to a house, contractor is currently on. Recapitulation C, Madam Speaker. Madam, the estimated cost of the outstanding works is factored in the total cost.
The Honourable Feira.
Madam Speaker,